So we have some really great updates with Boosteroid. This is version 1.6.3 and I'll show you what we have here. We do have some small bug fixes. So I will just come out of the Overwatch game and I'll show you what we have. So I'll go to end session. What's new? 1.6.4, that was today, fixed redundant UI elements. 1.6.3 fixed a rare bug which sometimes could cause a crash when connecting a gamepad. Fixed a bug related to client window resizing. So that was yesterday. And we also have some new games that came just very recently. BattleBit Remastered, Aliens, Dark Descent, Remnant 2. This is a very interesting game, Remnant. Old Blood and Noob, they came a few before previously, but this one is new, completely new. Remnant 2, a very recent release as well, 25th July, and it's a great game. I really recommend trying out Remnant 2. It's obviously very popular right now. So yeah, give that a go. If you're interested in trying out Boosteroid, I highly recommend it. So something I noticed actually with the Windows application, it's a little bit better than the macOS application because you can actually use it in a window mode. So that's something you can't actually do with the macOS application right now. But I'm sure they will add it because remember, the macOS application is quite a bit newer, so they're still working on developing it. So I'm sure they will probably add a window mode. But they have that in the Windows version of the application. And also, the Windows application, I think it's better in the sense that you have something you can do with Boosteroid on Windows if you have an NVIDIA graphics card is that you can upscale from say 1080p to 4K using NVIDIA image scaling. I really recommend using that because then you get the sharpest image quality possible. That's something I highly recommend you try because it's something that NVIDIA GeForce Now does have this thing where you can actually upscale using AI upscaling. And Boosteroid, currently, even though it doesn't have that, you can use the driver version from the NVIDIA control panel on your computer if you have an NVIDIA card. And I really recommend doing that just because it actually increases the sharpness so much of the image quality. And yeah, overall, Boosteroid has been great for me. I've been using it quite a bit. I think it's really convenient when you don't want to use your local hardware. You might want to be away from your local hardware or use it on battery. And obviously Boosteroid doesn't take up a lot of battery. I actually tested the native application a bit more. And I got something like 5 to 6 hours on my MacBook Pro. So that's pretty decent. 5 to 6 hours of gaming time on my MacBook Pro with Boosteroid. That was my estimate because I think I ran it down about 20% battery life from 65% to 45%. So I actually got, that was in, I can't remember exactly, but I made the calculation and it was basically, I would have had 5 hours to 6 hours total, continuing at that rate. So overall battery life would be very good. Very much recommend you get the updated macOS version with the updated M1 and M2 variant of the application because that's the native Apple hardware. It's running on native. There's no Rosetta needed to translate for the Intel application. It's not an Intel application, it's a Apple binary, and I highly recommend you do that if you have an Apple machine. And it just makes Apple laptops like the MacBook really great for gaming sessions on the not just on the go, but just using it away from a charger, so around your home you can use it on battery power. And it's probably better than something like the Steam Deck or the Asus ROG Ally because you have that better battery life. Remember, those machines are very much constrained with battery life, even if you use cloud gaming on those. So I do recommend using a Mac just for that gaming purpose. A lot of people say you can't game on Macs, but when you have cloud gaming like Boosteroid, you very much can, and it's really a great experience as well with good battery life. So overall, the application is great. I can definitely recommend it. It's getting new games all the time, like I showed you, and new updates all of the time. And yeah, make sure you check out Remnant if that's something you're interested in. It's a very popular game right now. I think I might check it out in the future. And yeah, I highly recommend trying Boosteroid if you've never tried it before. Cloud gaming is always getting better and better. So just let me know if there's any questions, and try to give it a try if you can. Especially if you have a good internet connection. This is always something worth trying. Cloud gaming. If you're on a fiber connection, especially, I'm on a fiber optic, directly fiber to my house connection, so it's very low latency overall compared to if I was using a Wi-Fi or something. I'm connecting by Ethernet as well, so I get pretty good latency. And overall, I can recommend it. You can see here the image quality, everything is really great. No problems with the image quality. Something I do need to try is actually the microphone. I need to try that out, making sure that works. But you can see with Overwatch, the best way to get the lowest latency is to use NVIDIA Reflex with enabled. But right now I'm just watching my replay, so if you want the maximum smoothness, then VSync, you can enable the VSync, but obviously I don't recommend doing that if you are actually playing, because that will add a lot of input latency. But you can see my latency in the top left corner, showing 3 milliseconds. My stream FPS is stable, 60 FPS. Bitrate is at 24 maximum. So overall the image looks great. I would like to see in the future maybe even higher bitrate, something like as high as 50 Mbps. But I understand obviously not everyone has a connection to support that high of a bitrate, because it's obviously a very high bitrate. So it shouldn't be the default. The default should be 24 like it is now. 24 is a good amount of bitrate for a pretty stable and good image quality. But with something like 50 or 75, if they gave you the option to have that high of a bitrate, it would be amazing as well, just to get the maximum image quality possible. But I will say Boosteroid is much better than Amazon Luna image quality wise, and much better than Xbox Cloud Gaming. The thing with Xbox Cloud Gaming is it's very variable depending on the game. Sometimes you get very bad image quality. I haven't found that with Boosteroid. I've found Boosteroid is very good across all the games. There's no, some games are bad, some games are good. And 24 Mbps is more than enough. So you have a very good image quality overall. And even compared to Stadia, when I was using Stadia, Google Stadia, before it closed down, I used it a long time actually, for about a year, 2 years. I was a big fan of Stadia, but even Stadia was not as good quality as this with the bitrate. Maybe on the Pro version, professional, the 4K version was okay, but obviously it wasn't 60 FPS for a lot of the games. With Boosteroid, you do get 60 FPS on all of the games. So like Assassin's Creed running on Stadia, that would have run at 30 FPS, but on the Boosteroid, I'm pretty sure you can run that at 60 FPS. And the hardware is good. The hardware is very good, as I can show you. It's using a RTX GTX P40, and it's running at good settings as well. And sometimes you do get the RTX 7000 Grid 7000, I think it's called. I think that's a bit of a stronger graphics card. You get that if you're on the France server or on some of the other servers, but I'm connecting to the London server, so this is the hardware I get. It's more than good enough. And yeah, there's no issues really. I think it can be a bit daunting for a lot of people to think about using cloud gaming to play their games, but it's really not hard. It's very easy. It's very consumer friendly. So I very much recommend trying it out. But yeah, that was just some Overwatch gameplay. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you stay up to date with Boosteroid. Join their Discord server as well. they do have a Discord server that I highly recommend you join. So it's well worth doing that. Gonna give that 5 stars. And yeah, overall, make sure you check out the new games. Remnant 2 is now on Boosteroid. So thank you for watching.